Hello, this is James Stevens with Jet Kinesiology. I'd like to welcome you to our video training on how to use the bar. So what we're going to be taking a look at here first off is a couple of general principles around muscle testing, and then we'll get into the specifics of how to use the bar. The first thing to keep in mind is that when you're muscle testing, what you want to do is you want to have proper muscle isolation. And by having that proper muscle isolation, you are able to repetitively test the identical muscle group and thereby ensure your accuracy in this part or this element of the triad of accuracy, which is proper and repetitive muscle isolation. And so we're going to take a look at a little bit around the principles of muscle isolation. What causes muscle isolation is to have all associated joints to that particular muscle 0% bent and locked. And when we have them locked, then we can be sure that the associated muscle groups to that joint will always have the same amount of activation. Now here's the danger if you don't have your joints locked, is that to the degree that the joint is bent, there is a correlating degree of activation of the associated muscle groups. And so what that means in plain English is that if you bend your joint a little bit one time and then test, you're going to have a different reaction to that muscle group than when you bend it a little bit different the second time, and then you'll have a different reaction to that muscle group. Now here's some of the things to keep in mind. When the joints involved in the pull, when they aren't moving, that's where you get your muscle isolation. And so that is what has created the development of this test device. Over the last 13 years, we've had 7 design generations of this test device. It's quite frankly, it's designed to outlast you. Has a polycarbonate housing on it, the same kind of stuff that they use for bulletproof windows. And so the main thing that you want to do is avoid prolonged sunlight, otherwise it will cause fading. But it should last longer than you. And indeed, we do have a lifetime, no bones about it, lifetime warranty on this. Anytime anything happens, just give us a call and we'll happily replace it for you. And another word is relative to the bending of joints. There are some other test devices out there. The reason why we designed this one this way was because when I think it was about 1997, I was testing out different devices that were on the market. And one of those devices was a dynamometer, a fairly expensive dynamometer. It was, I think it was about $700 at the time. And I could not get consistency. And what a dynamometer is when you squeeze it with your hand. And that's when we were finally discovered that the reason why was because we have all of these bent joints. Like in this one area, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bent joints. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bent joints. And again, remembering that to the degree you bend them, they cause a correlating reaction to the associated muscle groups, and that's why we were never able to get any consistency around using finger testers, hand squeezers, things of that nature. And so you're going to see the principles in using the bar is such that you're going to have all of your joints locked and immovable, and that's how you get proper muscle isolation. Okay, the one question that people do ask me on this is, as you pull on the bar, will it ever wear out? The fact of the matter is that every day you're setting your baseline according to a certain feel that we're going to help you identify. And in fact, over time, the tensioning device does tend to loosen marginally, not that much, but marginally. But it doesn't matter because every day you're setting the baseline, that's this red ring right here, you're setting that baseline to its optimal feel. And so in essence, it will never wear out and you will be able to use it for the rest of your life. Yay. And so let's go ahead now and take a look at document D. And like I said, this document is going to be coming to you in your next session. And in document D, what we call using the bar, the first 4 paragraphs focus on the use of the brain. So even though we're going to be working with the bar, the thing to keep in mind is that the mental conditioning is still a major part of making sure that the bar works right. So again, we have to know the principles around training our brain. We have to be aware of our thoughts. We have to have faith in our ability. Having a neutral frame of mind is not enough. We have to have and expect a positive outcome, and we have to eliminate the use of opinions. And as you know, cue card TB3 is an excellent one to eliminate the opinions. Okay? And so we're going to talk a little bit now about learning how to pull on the bar. And it says to take your readings from the point where the inner tan-colored tube meets the black cap. So let's go ahead and take a look at that close up here. And so if you look right here, we have, let me go ahead and spin this around to where you can see it. And I'm going to pull it apart a couple of inches here. And I want you to notice that, let me see if I can spin this around. Yes, there you go. That there is an inner tan-colored bar, and it has a black cap on the end of it right here. And if you look closely on your test device, you'll be able to see at the end of the tan bar there is a black cap. And right at the point of where the black cap meets up with the tan bar, this spot right here, this is where we take the readings from. So at this point, it's now at 100. Now it's at 120. Now it's at 130, and so on. Okay? And a couple of things to keep in mind about using this bar. These are two don't do's when you're using the bar. The first is to never close your eyes when you're using the bar. And a great example of this is for you to go ahead and stand up right now, if you would. Go ahead and do that. Stand up and close your eyes. And what I want you to do is to start to begin to notice as your eyes are closed how it is that your body starts to weave back and forth. And what that's doing is it's causing muscles to activate. Remember, we're talking about muscle isolation here, where you isolate out 99% of the body's muscles. And if what you're doing is activating them by your body weaving back and forth, when you're pulling on the bar, then you're bringing muscles into the mix that have no business being there. The other thing about using the bar is when we're pulling on the bar is to keep our eyes on the bar. And the reason for this is that there is a biofeedback mechanism that occurs when you're pulling on the bar between the eyes and the muscles in the arm and the speed of the pull, and your eyes and the muscles in your arm and the speed of the pull and your eyes and your brain. It's this biofeedback loop, and it would be the same as if you were riding a bicycle and all of a sudden you took your hands off of the handlebars. All of a sudden you would lose one of the important aspects of having balance when you're using the test device. And we're going to show you how to make sure that you aren't influencing the test results by looking at the bar, by looking at a simple truth around this, and that is this, okay? When the eyes look at the bar, they do not, by virtue of seeing the numbers on the bar, it does not create any more or any less available energy within a particular muscle group. In other words, the amount of energy that is available in a muscle group at any given point in time is just what is there, okay? But we do recognize that the power of the mind can influence it. And so here's how you can influence and how you don't want to influence the test results is by having the belief that by looking at the bar, you're going to skew your test results, because having that belief through the power of the mind can actually create that outcome. And we've done enough around mental conditioning now where I think you'll be able to get that principle. And so the fact of the matter is that looking at the bar does not influence the outcome. And so if you have that belief, it's a simple mental conditioning exercise on your part to understand the truth that there is only a certain amount of energy available in any given muscle at any given point in time. All right?